Time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on 95.1 FM, weather always comes first. High pressure has shifted to the northwest of Hawaii, and Major Hurricane Dora is now southwest of the state. This is allowing winds to decrease across Hawaii. Moderate trades will continue into next week, though. Severe storms with all hazards possible in the Midwest and Southeast, and locally heavy rain is possible in the Southwest, Southeast, and Northeast. Closer to home, scattered mountain and isolated scattered lowland thunderstorms are going to be possible every afternoon. Gusty winds and locally heavy rain will be the primary concerns. We'll have another look at the weather following this news. Well, the County Commission regular meeting took place yesterday. Two biggies caught my attention.
A resolution in support of New Mexico State Representative Jennifer Jones, District 32, requests for the governor to deploy the New Mexico National Guard to the southern border. Whereas NMSA 1978 4-37-1 grants counties the powers necessary to provide for the safety, preserve the health, promote prosperity, and improve morals, order, comfort, and convenience in the county and for its inhabitants, and whereas NMSA 1978 4-38-18 provides that the Board of County Commissioners has the power to represent the county and to manage the interests of the county, and whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Otero County have repeatedly raised questions about the security risks and dangers presented by the southern border and the failure of the state and federal government to adequately respond to the issues of illegal immigration, illicit drug smuggling, and heinous human trafficking, and whereas the Board's most recent demand for action, resolution number 05-12-22/110-49, was completely ignored, and whereas despite repeated declarations of emergency such as the one by Governor Bill Richardson in 2005, the situation continues to get worse with each passing year, and whereas every day that state and federal leaders choose to ignore the issue and fail to develop solutions where it represents continued human suffering, and whereas State Representative Jennifer Jones has advised the governor that the current crisis situation demands that all levels of government play an active role in protecting the safety of our state's population and limiting societal damage caused by the federal government's failure to secure our southern border, and has requested that the state direct its resources to the border immediately, and whereas the Board of County Commissioners is very concerned about the protection of our border, the citizens of the state, and the migrants themselves, considering the current drug and human smuggling crisis, and whereas this is not a political issue as it affects Democrats and Republicans alike and should be addressed by whomever is in the governor's office. To illustrate the bipartisan nature of this situation, in August 2005, former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations and New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, Democrat, declared a state of emergency along the Mexican border, which region he characterized as having been devastated by the ravages and terror of human smuggling, drug smuggling, kidnapping, murder, destruction of property, and the death of livestock. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Otero County, New Mexico, joint county commissioners of Socorro and Hidalgo County in their support of Representative Jones' request to utilize the state's resources to protect our border and the citizens of the state. Be it further resolved that this board requests the governor, pursuant to the power set forth by Article 5, Section 4 of the Constitution of the State of New Mexico, making the governor commander-in-chief of the military forces of this state, declare an emergency and deploy the National Guard of the State of New Mexico, including Army National Guard, the Air National Guard, and State Defense Force, to Otero County and other counties struggling to deal with the crisis to assist the Border Patrol and local law enforcement. I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution 08-10-23/11209, a resolution in support of New Mexico State Representative Jennifer Jones' request for the governor to deploy the New Mexico National Guard to the southern border. I get a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Hey, you guys! MLG is likely to file this away with the Coldwater Creek catalogs and the offers from insurance companies that claim they can lower your rates. It's just junk mail to her. She's not going to defend the border. The other item?
Request approval to schedule and advertise a public hearing to consider Ordinance 23-02 to raise the county unrestricted gross receipts tax.
But wasn't this already discussed a few months ago?
This is the tax rate that's already been approved to raise that we were going to do the raises with, correct?
We discussed it in the spring, and essentially, in order to cover the raise, we discussed that a raise in the sales tax was necessary.
But this has already been approved. It never has been implemented.
You committed to it by budgeting the raises, but as far as the process to increase the sales tax, we have to pass an ordinance. And so we have to schedule a meeting to public hearing because it's an ordinance.
Anyone who knows me or knows my politics knows how I feel about raising taxes. I'm always against it. They are too high already, and the idea of raising them more to give employees raises seems wrong when the homeless and the hungry populations are growing exponentially. For the record, I'm also against the repeated taxation of property and vehicles, which they call registration. What? Oh, I gotta stop. It was determined that the tax raise should be heard by the people.
We want to shoot for 9 o'clock on the 29th, 9 a.m.?
Yeah.
So we'll have time to get all the other stuff done?
9 o'clock, the 29th.
Yeah, the 29th of August.
Got it.
And are we going to have it here?
I think this will probably be sufficient to accommodate it. Should more people than can fit in here show up, we'll have some contingency plan in place to accommodate, so anyone that wants to speak is able to do so.
Okay. All right. So do we need to vote on this? To have a meeting?
To schedule a meeting, yes.
Okay. I make a motion to schedule and advertise a public hearing to consider ordinance 23-02 to raise the county unrestricted gross receipts tax. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's August 29th. You can see the meeting in its entirety on the Otero County YouTube channel. I promise you, it's over 4 hours of fun. County Commissioner Amy Barella announces that at 8 a.m. today, across the street from the high school, she's kicking off 21 weeks of prayer for the schools. The group will meet every Friday afterwards. Well, today is Friday. Let's check in with Kathy Denton and get a cat chat from Kitty City, NM.
Hi, this is Kathy Denton from Kitty City, NM, and welcome to this week's edition of Cat Chat. This week, Kitty City is featuring Chassie and Wilson. This past weekend, 2 very cute kittens came to Kitty City. On Saturday, Chassie was brought to Kitty City by a kind and compassionate couple who rescued her from the engine of a car. This little kitten had crawled up into the engine from underneath the car. This couple heard her mewing and were determined to rescue this kitty. And they had success after 45 minutes. Chassie was bathed, given food and water, and her kitten vaccination. All of us at Kitty City agreed the kitten should be named after a car part. So this girl kitty is named Chassie. Chassie is a gray and white female with short fur, about 10 weeks old. Even though Chassie is new to Kitty City, we already know she loves to be with other kittens and cats. And she lets us know when she wants attention by loudly mewing. Every cat or kitten Chassie meets at Kitty City was an instant friend to her. Chassie is a friend to all. It is hard for the humans or the cats not to like her. She is also difficult to ignore. Chassie is a sweetheart and is gentle and lovable, and it is impossible to walk past her and not pick her up and cuddle her. Chassie is in a foster home for a little while where she is playing with other cats and children. She is having the time of her life, soaking up all the love and affection. We hear she is becoming a professional lap kitty. Last Sunday, Kitty City welcomed a male snowshoe Siamese kitten with short fur to our shelter. Wilson was a stray outdoor kitten and made his way into a sporting goods store here in Alamogordo. We have no idea how he got there or where he came from. He is now safe and protected at Kitty City, NM. After his kitten vaccination, my husband Ed named the kitten Wilson after the sports equipment name brand. Wilson is a tan, brown, and white kitty with snowshoe markings, which makes him a very handsome boy. He is a bit timid and unsure of things right now, as can be expected, but he does like to be picked up and held. Wilson needs time and patience to adjust to all the changes, but in no time, this little guy will be ready for all the love. You can see both Chassie and Wilson and many other lovable kitties and kittens at the Kitty City Adoption event tomorrow, Saturday, August 12th, at the White Sands Mall from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Kitty City will be featuring adorable kittens and lovable adult cats all the rest of the Saturdays in August. Tomorrow, August 12th, Saturday, August 19th, and Saturday, August 26th. We have a double the fun summer special, 1 cat or kitten for full adoption fee, and the second cat or kitten at half the adoption fee. Come and find your forever friend tomorrow, Saturday, August 12th, at the White Sands Mall. You can also check out all our other cats and kittens at our website, www.kittycitynm.com, or visit us at 56 Stanley Ranch Road. This has been this week's edition of Cat Chat. I'm Kathy Denton, and we will be talking to you next week from Kitty City NM. Kitty City NU. No one loves them better.
News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
AlamogordoTownNews.com is a locally owned website featuring local news matters from a local perspective that affects you, and we bring it to you directly. Plus, local sports, cultural arts, and events. Online, AlamogordoTownNews.com. Owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County.
8 new cases of West Nile virus have been confirmed in the Land of Enchantment. The new cases bring the total count to 10 for the year. The new infections were confirmed in Bernalillo, San Miguel, Sandoval, Santa Fe, Torrance, and Valencia counties. Among these cases, 2 individuals are currently hospitalized, 5 have been discharged from the hospital, and 3 did not require admission. The West Nile virus is not uncommon in New Mexico. It surfaces every year as mosquito season ramps up. In a victory for cannabis users and gun rights advocates, a recent federal appeals court has ruled that the ban preventing people who use cannabis from possessing firearms is unconstitutional. The latest and highest level blow to the long-standing federal prohibition that's actively being challenged in a number of cases across the country. A 3-judge panel agreed to reverse the conviction of a man who was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison after being pulled over with firearms and admitting to occasionally using marijuana. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit cited a 2022 Supreme Court ruling that says any firearm restrictions must be consistent with the historical context of the Second Amendment's original 1791 ratification. You can check out the story in its entirety on AlamogordoTownNews.com. Virgin Galactic rocketed to the edge of space with the first tourist yesterday, a former British Olympian who bought his ticket 18 years ago, as well as a mother-daughter duo from the Caribbean. The space plane glided back to a runway, landing at Spaceport America after a brief flight that gave passengers a few minutes of weightlessness. John Goodwin, who competed in canoeing in the 1972 Olympics, describes the event.
The most impressive thing was looking at Earth from space. Just the pure clarity, was very moving.
Oh my gosh.
Quite surreal.
Goodwin, age 80, was among the first to buy a Virgin Galactic ticket back in 2005, and he feared after later being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease that he'd be out of luck. But since then, he's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and cycled back down. He hopes his spaceflight shows others with Parkinson's and other illnesses that it doesn't stop you from doing things. I still think we need to set up a KALH Send Anthony to Space Fund. Weather's next. You're listening to Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
The Alamogordo Center of Commerce presents the 3rd annual Tularosa Basin Open Golf Tournament, Saturday, August 26th at Desert Lakes Golf Course, featuring celebrity guest John Carlos. Contact the Center of Commerce today to sponsor our guest speaker, breakfast and lunch, golf handbag, and more. Golfers, call Desert Lakes at 575-439-0290 to secure your spot in the 4-man scramble best ball tournament. See you on the green.
Your Crazy Radio spot-on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for mostly sunny skies with a 30% chance of showers and storms. Partly cloudy tonight with a 30% chance of showers and storms. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a 50% chance of showers and storms. Your high today in the basin, 98. Low tonight of 70. High tomorrow, 96 degrees. In Cloudcroft, mostly sunny with a 40% chance of showers and storms. Partly cloudy tonight with a 40% chance of showers and storms. Partly sunny tomorrow with a 70% chance of showers and storms. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 75. Low tonight of 51. High tomorrow, 74 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, AlamogordoTownNews.com, and learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting KALHradio.org. We've also launched the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel, which will feature our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Take a moment to subscribe and be notified when we release a new video, and thank you to our existing subscribers. Well, that's going to conclude today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.